proposed by node 6. Node 6 is a miner in the network. Understand that there are millions of miners in the network, millions of full nodes and millions of SPV or the light nodes. Okay. Now, we are illustrating the scenario what is happening at a node 6, which is one instance of a miner. There are millions of miners like this who all will try the same process at the same time. Network, how we achieve consensus is, we don't want, so just like so now the concept of hash cache which we saw earlier, where to send an email, that person has to apply some computation power if he is genuinely interested, and if he is not interested, he won't spend this and he won't come and disturb the network. So if he is genuinely interested, he has to spend this computation power and find out a value which will make the hash below a particular condition, right? That we have seen before for hash cache. Similarly, this nonce is a random value in this header, okay, which is found by trial and error. Our intention is that this block header, if I hash, so hash of header must be less than a value. This is a condition which is there in the network, which is set by the network, and this condition is called difficulty, and this particular value will be the difficulty level of the network. Now, why it is called difficulty? So if I put a value 1 for the nonce, I will get a particular hash, but that hash, if it is not less than a given value, I will have to again put a value 2. As we have seen, it is a trial and error method. We have to keep bootstrapping and we have to give 1, 2, etc. And we will find out some value, probably 10,001 or 11,005, etc. Some value at which this condition is satisfied. So essentially, this nonce is a random number which introduces a difficulty for the miner to create a successful block. Now, this difficulty level, how does Bitcoin compute the difficulty level? We'll come to that in a while. So, what does node 6 do? It frames this block, it forms all the transaction which is there in the transaction pool, creates a Merkle root comes to the header, number of transaction, timestamp, nonce, all those things comes. Then it tries with different value of nonce so that this condition gets satisfied. So, the header, which is combination of these 4 values, its hash should be less than a particular value. The hashing value should be less than a particular value, which we call as difficulty level. So, it starts computing the nonce. So, assume that it starts time from 1, 2, etc. and it reaches till say 11,007, and at this value, this condition is satisfied. So, then it does find an answer to the problem or the challenge that is thrown by the network. And once it finds a suitable nonce value which satisfies this condition, which in our case is 11,007, it can actually tell the network that, yeah, I have found out the value of nonce which actually satisfies your difficulty level, and here is your next block B5. Okay. So understand carefully that nonce is a random value which the miner will find out by trial and error method, and once it finds out, this becomes a valid block. Okay. So till now, if the nonce value was 1, 2, 3, etc. up to 11,006, this was an invalid block because this condition was not satisfied. Once the condition got satisfied at 11,007, this became a valid block. It actually computed the accurate value of nonce, and that is when the block becomes a valid block. Now, like I told before, there are millions of miners in this network. So this network, which consists of say 7 nodes, assume that there are 7 million nodes. So then the scale of miners, the scale of SPV nodes, the scale of full nodes. So imagine in that scale. So there are millions of miners who are competing to find out this node. So whenever, so there is a, I told you there is a block creation